All right. Hey, you know what, babe?
What?
You know what I was thinking would be make a good members only video?
What's that, hon?
Uh, Outtakes of you and I doing sound checks.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
What do you think?
No.
Well, I'll bleep out all the naughty parts.
Okay.
I
Uh,
promise.
you and my idea of naughty is not the same, hon. Oh, my goodness.
Ah, Lord. It was just a thought.
Just a thought. Well, think
Yeah, I
again.
only have like three from today because I usually just trash that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But just the three from today would make an interesting video for the members, you know.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, this is how we, get ready for the show. Often that's why I'm late getting up, is
Woohoo,
because I'm
start
doing last
practicing.
minute sound checks, camera angles, and all of that so we can present you folks with as professional a setup as I'm capable of anyway. I hope you're all doing well. I see so many great faces. Dragon is in. Oh man, Beast LVX. Okay, Deuces Wild is in. Uh, Good Lord, we've got my good buddy. You're in, Kimberly.
I would.
You're in.
I think I am.
I think you're in.
I think I'm in.
Damn. Good
Jeez.
job. You
Jeez.
know, we've got Gear Jam in. Oh my goodness. All the usual suspects, baby.
Yeah.
I mentioned Royce.
Oh, Dan's
Of
in.
course, Doc Insomnia has been in all night long.
Oh my goodness.
All day long, I should
Nobody
say.
beats Doc.
Yeah.
Nobody beats Doc to the
No, he's
punch.
always first on Royce's stream, too, to make notes over there. He supports both channels, as I do. My good buddy Royce, the Four Horsemen I'm talking about. And Royce, by the way, he streams every... I'm going to meander here as people kind of come on in, folks. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm in no hurry. I'm in no hurry, baby.
Yeah.
I'm almost what you'd call calm. Almost. Almost.
I think so too.
Yeah, Royce's show, I'm up, I didn't make it last week, but I'm often on the panel up there. It's called The Four Horsemen, and how you find it is you either go to my channel page and click on his link, okay? It's there, or you can just type in the four and not the number four, not the word four, horseman, Royce in the house, all one word. Okay, and Royce just put out a great video on Peter Grant and just how what kind of I don't want to give anything away, Royce, but how truly great of a manager this was. And some of the things that he did, I truly believe, I don't know if Royce brought this up specifically, not only changed the way that money was made touring, but it started to favor the artist. I think you do bring that up, Royce, as I recall now. And so that's a great video. And, guys, after the stream, please go on over there and support that video. All right? Royce has made a major effort. Royce works full time, okay? He does one stream a week, and he's actually managed. I think he's got a second one coming out soon. And to be able to even do that's amazing. All right, so please, I ask you to support Royce. Of course, Just the Facts, man. I saw Just the Facts over on Caitlin's stream earlier today. It was so good to see him. Dan's going to be running for public office. And all I can say is it makes a man almost want to move to Texas. We need down-home kind of folks leading the political charge these days. And so a tip of the hat to Dan as well. Heard from Bruce Cologne. Him and Ben put out a brand new, or Ron, I should say. Him and Ron. You see, it's Ron Ben Joseph, I think is his name is. So anyway, but that would have made it the B&B show back in the day. But it's now called B-Sides, and they put out a new video. You guys got to go over and check it out because it's connected to a video I did regarding, or a stream I did regarding biopic rock movies, predominantly is what
Hey,
we're
hon.
talking about. Yeah, baby.
Hey, hon. Storm Cop is in the Bahamas celebrating his 20th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, James, that's so awesome. I
Woohoo.
heard that. I was in the audience. I just didn't get a chance to check in and everything. I had hit ground zero on Sunday, but congratulations, brother. And many, many more. I had just heard that news on Royce's show on Sunday, I believe, wasn't it, James? James is Storm Cop, by the way. Yeah, that's so good to hear. That is so wonderful to hear. And a special shout out to all of you who are going through tough times. I know of several of you. And we're always praying for you on this end. And it's so good to have you folks in. So many usual names here. You know, I mean, that I see all the time. These are core tribal members in the comments anyway. And for those of you who don't do the comments, you just like to watch or whatever, welcome to this live stream. Now, I do want to say one thing. We just hit 47,200 subscribers, and a whole lot of them have come off my latest 6 videos. And if you guys are, I saw that. Baby, can you hold on just a second? Let me finish this. We've got a super thanks, and it's a doozy.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Oh, Storm Cop.
Yeah, Storm Cop,
Oh,
thank
my
you very
gosh.
much. But what was I talking about just now? See, that's
Well-
why I wanted to keep...
Yeah, and then I want to read Storm Cop.
Okay, baby. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and take care of that because I've lost my train of thought here. We don't get
Oh.
too many of these.
Storm Cop sent $50 and he said, "So sorry, I missed the last live stream. Always proud to support the channel."
Oh, I know
Storm
you are,
Cop,
James.
You are such a love. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
50 freaking
You
dollars.
guys enjoy yourself to the fullest on your cruise.
And truly, I'm
That's
so happy
amazing.
for you. You know, James has had a tough, I said in one of my recent stream, extended years going right on into the beginning of this year, you know.
Yeah.
And I am so glad that you're able to do something like that, James. To hear such grand news
Oh, I know. That
after
just
what
made
you've
my
been through,
day.
brother. Amen to that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I was talking about, I do recall. See, it all comes back to me. I ain't that old, baby.
Yeah.
Don't look a day over 92, as I've always said.
That's right.
Yep. But, yeah, we've gotten a lot of new subscribers just in the last few days. And I want to welcome you if you are one of those new subscribers and you're going, well, let's see what he does live. As you can tell, this is not quite what I do in my regular videos. And this is what we call the Tribal Forum. All of my videos, or many of them, I will end the video by saying, remember, we are the tribe. I believe in that with all my might, folks. I'm serious as fudge. All right? When I say that, this whole idea of the tribe came out so damned organically that it practically invented itself, brought its own self to birth. And so when we do, and who is the tribe? Well, you're the tribe. If you're watching right now and you're subscribed, you're the tribe. If you're not subscribed and you make a comment, you are the tribe. It is an intermingling of people of different beliefs, different faiths, different skin colors, different countries, different subgenres of humanity. My God. We're all over this freaking planet. It's a huge, huge tribe, all right? And it's worldwide. And this is when I get a chance to just sit down and talk to you. This isn't me planning out a video, sitting down, and prepping it in a more professional way, which I love doing. I'm a ham. I was telling Kimberly before the stream started, I got a whole lot of my mom's core values and all the ham from Pappy. You
Yes,
know,
you do.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he was a bit of a ham. And she, we were talking about getting nervous before stream. I really don't. I've been performing in one way or another since I was 4 years old. And to me, once you break that barrier in an audience and you realize you're just talking to you, you know, that's who I just got to keep in mind is you. And we'll have a conversation, right? I usually have a thing, a main theme to each stream, sometimes more than that. And we're going to cover some stuff as we get into this. But I do want to let you guys know tonight the theme is the Eagles. Okay? See, I brought my Eagles shirt. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
What?
Oh, isn't that just too cute, hun?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, don't you like my eagle?
Oh no, I like your eagle. It's just that
So that's
we're
that's
gonna
an
be
eagle.
talking about the Eagles.
That's an eagle.
Is that just a coincidence?
Uh,
Oh my
well,
goodness.
if a
Oh my
coinky
goodness.
dinky requires thinky, it's a coinky dinky, I
Just
guess.
the facts, man. Dan just came in with a $10
Oh my goodness, Dan.
super thanks. Thank you.
I love you,
Dan.
brother. You know that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Dan's heading for
Thank
some
you.
great things.
Oh my goodness.
I believe in Dan.
Beastel VX just
Oh,
came
my
in with
goodness.
a $20 super thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Beast.
Oh my goodness, we've got
Oh,
a
my
$10
goodness.
super
So,
thanks
so
from Just the
nice.
Facts Man. Dan the Man, I like to call him.
Oh,
or
my
what did I
goodness.
call you in the, I had to correct it because I used dictation to make my comments, right? And the Apple dictation has turned to shit, man. But oh my goodness, I'm going to have to catch up here. But I called him, I don't know, it was Lamb or Sam or something, because it didn't type out what I said most clearly, right? And so I had to correct that, man. But Dan is also on the Four Horsemen. He's one of the, him, Royce, me, and Chris Elliott.
Oh,
We're
and
the
he's
usual
got a
Four
surprise
Horsemen.
for us all.
What's that?
He has a surprise for us all. He says, I will be running for the city council seat this fall.
Right.
Thanks for mentioning that. Meeting the governor of Texas tomorrow, not related to my campaign.
Right.
In quotation marks. Wow, Dan. Oh, my goodness.
And the reason Kimberly wasn't up on that, Dan, and thank you for that nice $10 super thanks, was she is so busy answering you guys. She's my connection for all you new viewers. She connects to you guys, so I'm free to yammer my hammer on and on and on and on and on, and on. But anyway, that's how we work this. And so she was probably answering a question or typing out a response. But I did mention already, baby, that he is running for office. And that's amazing. Could you read Beastel VX?
Oh, yeah, sure.
AKA, I do believe, is Deuces Wild.
Yep. He sent a $20 super thanks.
$20.
He says,
Thank you so much.
when we think of the great Canadian bands and great bands in general, we think of the Guess Who, Rush, Triumph, and Wine, etc. But there is a band I have been listening more to, and it's Saga. Seagal or Saga?
I can't read it.
I think it says Saga or Seagal. 29 albums. Awesome prog rock. Wow. I'll have to check them out.
Saga. Or Saga.
Saga.
Yeah. I've heard of the name. I'm not aware of that. But once again, thank you so much. A $20 super thanks. And due to that specific super thanks, I will look that up and I will listen to that band, Saga, on your recommendation. All right, Deuce? I appreciate it so much. Folks, you're seeing some pretty big super thanks here. But I got to tell you, everybody goes, well, I could give him a couple of bucks. And by the way, when people do this, it goes back into the channel, the set, maintenance of equipment, and everything else. Change of lighting, computers, everything that's connected to the channel. I invest it right back into the show. And you go, I could give them a couple of, those will get just as equal airplay as anything else, all right? So I didn't want, these guys are amazing. I appreciate it so much. And these very guys, Storm Cop, who's in with a 50, Dan with a 10, and Deuce in with a 20, those three guys would be the first to tell you, that they appreciate you supporting this channel even with a small super thanks, okay? So I didn't want to, in past shows, it seems like we get some monsters and then everybody goes, well, they get kind of bashful. And like I said, it all goes back into the channel. Okay, so anyway, we were talking about, what we're going to be talking about, how we're going to cover things tonight. And I said that we're going to be talking about the Eagles, okay? And the question that follows that statement would be, are they really America's Beatles? There was a time when you would see that written down in articles in every single rock and roll rag you could find, okay? They're the American Beatles. And why? Well, they have tons of hits, okay? Lots of top 40 hits. I don't believe as many as the Beatles, but they still had a ton of them. They write with heavy melody, or wrote with heavy melody.
Oh, geez.
The one caveat is that
Royce sent a super thanks.
Okay, baby.
Oh, Royce, thank you so much.
Oh, I just sent it.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, thank you so much.
Woohoo, thank
$10.
you, Royce.
$10 from my buddy Royce. Thank you so much. But they had two main songwriters, right? And by the way, each of Glenn Frey is often touted as having written most of the Eagles songs. That's wrong. According to current count, both Glenn Frey and Don Henley wrote 43 each, or co-wrote 43 each. Some of them, they were songs by the two of them, okay? So I talked about also that the Eagles had another similarity, and I would ask you guys, based on what I've said, and baby,
yes,
look for new comments on this.
Okay.
All right, are you guys ready? I want to hear some responses before we get into this. If they were, now just buy into the thought, okay? I know some people are out there, because I've got a poll, and there's been some negative comments, and we'll talk about why that might be happening. But if they were, just buy into the fallacy, America's Beatles, right? Which member would you say was George Harrison? All right? Think about that. If Don Henley and Glenn Frey are the Lennon and McCartney, or McCartney and Lennon, however you want to see each one of those, of the Eagles, who would you say is the George Harrison of the group? I've never talked about that. But I've got a reasoning why I think what I think is who the George Harrison of the group would be. But I would like to hear from you. Is anybody coming in with anything?
Let's see.
Okay. Yeah.
Jay Cleveland.
Randy Meisner.
Randy Meisner. Yeah.
Dragon says. Bernie Ledden says Jay Cleban. Any other guess?
Timothy Schmidt, Just the Facts.
Yeah, Timothy B. Schmidt from Dan.
Yeah.
Storm Cop, you're right. Because I had to think about it. It was only because I was prepping, which I do so very, very well, for my streams, that it came across to me who it is. And I'll give you my reasoning. It doesn't mean the rest of your guesses are wrong. I'll only be giving you my opinion, folks. And then you can either agree with me or agree with any of these other guesses.
Jay Cleban says Felder. Don Felder.
Okay, Don Felder.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, I think we've heard from most of them. I haven't seen a vote for Joe Walsh.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm not. I'm just. I'm curious why he might not have popped up. But
Divining Dragon says since Meisner was sensitive and quiet, it seems to be based on personality.
yeah,
That
I
I
hadn't
think
thought of that in
that's a
making
great
up my mind.
insight.
I hadn't
Yeah,
thought of that about making up my mind. Yes, he
that's
was,
a great insight.
and he quit because he was being fucking picked on.
And he says Joe Walsh is too much of a wild card.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that too. So I'm not making my assessment on personalities. Remember, what was I talking about? I was talking about how many songs that, let's see here. Let me make sure I've got this. How many songs did Glenn Fry and I will not say Felder, Don Henley wrote, and it was 40, they're tied, 43 apiece. All right, now George Harrison in the Beatles was the next most proficient songwriter. And who guessed Bernie Ledden? Which
Oh,
one was that? Was that Jake Levan?
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
who I would vote for. I'm not saying my idea is, but listen to
Yeah,
this.
Bernie
Bernie
Ledden.
Ledden wrote or co-wrote two songs on the Eagles' 1973 Desperado, 21 in Bitter Creek. Now, I've also got a current poll that you can vote on right now, all right, on which is the best Eagles albums. Now, I know I've done that before, but it's been a year or two since I did that. And since I was doing this stream, I thought, so it's a small little poll. Last check, I think we were a little over 600 votes so far. Only hours old, though. But I think 600, if that's all we have when I go back over there, that's fine. That's a good nibbling to kind of get a consensus generally. And once you get to 600, 300 even on a poll, you know, there's rarely a major upset. So it'll give us an indication of what you guys think, because I want to hear from you folks. So, my favorite Eagles album, I've made that clear in the past, is Desperado. Okay? And he wrote 21 in Bitter Creek. Bitter Creek would be in my top five Beatles or Eagles songs. I guess they are the American Beatles. That keeps coming out of my mouth. But so that's one thing to think about. And then let's see. Here's the lowdown. Don Henley wrote 43 songs, or co-wrote. Okay, and I'm not going to keep saying co-wrote. Glenn Fry, 43 songs. Bernie Ledden, or Ledden, I'm not sure how.
It looks like Ledden to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or Leodon.
No, no.
I've always called
No.
him Ledden.
Yeah.
You know, 11 songs. Okay, he wrote 11 Eagles songs. Randy Meisner wrote 8 songs. Don Felder, 6 songs. Joe Walsh, 5 songs. Timothy B. Schmidt, 2 songs. Okay, so they're all writers, and the Beatles were all writers. But I would say, on strength of material, and especially Don Ledden having, or Don Ledden, Bernie. See, I want to. As soon as I say Bernie, I want to say Leadon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernie
Divining
Ledden.
Dragon says it's pronounced Ledden.
Okay, good,
Ledden,
good.
yeah.
Bernie Ledden.
Thank you, Divining.
And him writing 2 of my favorite songs on my very favorite Eagles album. I mean, I consider Desperado almost akin to, not as good necessarily, but almost if the Eagles were the American Beatles, that would be their Revolver or their Rubber Soul album. All right? And so you've got their George Harrison getting 1 song on each side. Ooh, pretty good, right? So that would be my thoughts. Anybody giving thoughts, saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, baby?
No.
You go just the usual, Michael.
No, but no, yeah. Where did that go? Divining he was saying a fair assessment for song construction, Bernie Ledden.
Right.
Yeah, Divining said that.
Yeah. Right.
Buddy says if we go on the basis of being a guitar virtuoso, Felder.
Yeah.
Felder.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Depends on how you're viewing them, huh?
Yep, exactly.
You know,
What's
as
your,
musicians,
yeah, how you're assessing it. Yeah.
You know, as musicians, as people, personality.
And he says, Divining Dragon says, I agree with Michael. Yeah,
Great.
in caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unusual, but I'll accept
unusual.
that. I'll get my one victory out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you guys decide anyway.
Yeah, I think.
Just look at the comments. You know mine, so count my comment as one vote, and then count them up, and there's your tribal consensus. It'll be real easy. It's right. The answer, as far as what the tribe thinks right now, and the answer is always from those who participate in the comments, right? Is whatever the tally is right now. You know, I'm just looking at this. Yeah, let's see. Looks like people have kind of quit guessing on that. So if I go up here, Joe Walsh, one vote down. Yeah, Felder, Meisner. Let's see. I think it was probably Bernie that led the pack, as memory serves, when I'm going down there. It's you guys are going hog wild in the comments tonight. It's hard to find it. I'm scrolling. Good Lord. Okay, so keep all of that in mind, and let's go over. I want to give you a taste of what we're talking about tonight. All right, this is only my intro. Then I need to take care of a bit of business, and then we'll get back on to this. See, there's a flow. I've got it all planned. It's all in my head, right? Yeah. But I want to go over here to the poll and what's going on with that. Okay, let's see. We've got, and what I'm talking about is my two latest polls. It was just a two-part poll this time. And let's see, where is that? There you go. Okay. And right now, it says 314. Yeah, so it has grown a little bit. And like I said, the newest is only 5 hours long. And it's basically this. Part 1 says, which of the following albums by the Eagles is your favorite? And of course, the Eagles' first 4 albums are up there. Okay, and right now, in first place is One of These Nights. In second place is Desperado. I would have flipped the two, in my opinion, right? But the tribe has spoken. They like One of These Nights and Desperado second. On the Border third, and the Eagles' first album, Eagles, is in fourth place with 14%. The leader has 39%. Desperado has 27%. Then in part 2, it's their 4 latter albums, in a way. And I did include the Beatles. See, I'm going to do it. I'm falling under their spell. I think they have a witchy woman.
Oh, did you just...
Now, who wrote that song?
Me, because I love that song.
Yeah, casting a spell on me.
Yeah.
He will believe they are the Beatles.
Yep.
And stabs a voodoo doll. And I say Beatles, right?
Yep.
So anyway, the choices were Hotel California, The Long Run, Long Road Out of Eden, and Eagles, their greatest hits, 1971 to 75. And we're going to be discussing Hotel California and the Eagles, their greatest hits, 1971 to 1975 tonight. And lo and behold, the two leaders are, number 1, Hotel California, who's going to beat that monster, and the Eagles, their greatest hits, 1971 to 1975, with The Long Run in a paltry 9% of you. Great freaking album, right? And The Long Road Out of Eden, probably my least favorite Eagles studio album, but still, you know, I would much rather have the current albums, greatest hits. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy the greatest hits. It is the best-selling album of all time. Okay, Hotel California is number 3. Okay, and there's a story behind that. So keep that in mind as we go on tonight. And I don't know. The reason I would buy it is if we were having company over. That's the perfect album. You know, we're having dinner and watch. People are playing video games and the adults are talking. That would be a great record to have on in the background. And sometimes it is nice just to listen to a band's, greatest hits. And Don, and we'll bring this up later as well. Don, I'm not going to call him Felder. I swear to God, they have a witchy woman after me tonight. Henley, Don Henley, says that there was some shenanigans between these two albums. So we'll be talking about that, which gets me back to basically the home base and where I wanted some business I feel like I should, make some sort of statement on. And of course, I'm talking about tribal memberships, okay? There is a content creator out there that I will reiterate, I love, Joe Mayo. Okay, I'm at his stream. I was on his stream today. Yeah, I didn't have anything to say, but whether I say something or not, I'm usually on his live streams. I make an effort to be over there, kind of like the guy a whole lot, But he put out, and he's known for putting out rant videos, and he put out a rant video that he was against people who are putting out memberships. He was criticizing content creators who do that. He didn't think that was right in any way. And I brought up in my response video, and that's why I felt like I needed to talk to you guys about this live. It's the least I could do. And his idea is it's cheating or it's taking advantage. His basic response is, what I do, I offer free, okay? And I want to make one thing clear about my channel before we go on, because he made a comment on my video, and I pinned it right to the top. Like I said, I love the guy, okay? And he clarified a little bit more by saying he was more or less referring to content creators who hide everything behind a paywall, all right? So, and although I wouldn't be comfortable with that kind of content creator, as me as a viewer, I'm certainly not going to criticize them because I have members-only videos. Now, I want to make one thing freaking clear right now. I am still producing free videos at the same level that I've always done since day one. 1 to 3, and every once in a while you'll get a 4th and a 5th, but that's flurry time, right? But 1 to 3 videos on my channel a week. I've never, ever shirked from that. But a lot of you are asking for, it'd be nice, like, for example, I'm thinking of doing a collage of tonight's warm-up. I think that'd be fun as fuck. I mean, fun as fudge to see. Okay, I think that'd be a look behind the scenes of the bottom line, and that's the perfect place to put those kind of videos. I did a video just my latest one I just put out. God, I put out 3 videos in one day. 1 to my members only, and 2, as free videos to anybody who wants to casually watch them. All right. And in that video, I stated that I thought that Residencies were the death of rock and roll. And I got a response from 2 of you members. And I have my whole idea on that. If we have time, I'll go over the responses and everything there. And the Eagles are one of those bands that have relied predominantly on Residencies. and in their never-ending tour, even though they just made an announcement through Don Henley that they are done after 2026. Yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. But, or better yet, I'll see that when I believe it. So anyway, that's where we are right now. Now, with getting back to Joe and his whole idea, it was interesting because he didn't mention it on his live stream. I was contemplating not mentioning it, and it got brought up about 2/3 through his stream today. And that's why I waited for a while before I even brought this up, and I've kind of split things up. And like I said, I'm in no hurry today, folks. So Joe Mayo mentioned that, hey, he's even contemplating doing merchandise. Well, we do merchandise here, all right? I've got some tissues in this one. But there's the tribal mug, one of them, right there, all right? Free enterprise, brother. I agree with you. You should, okay? But then to criticize, see, here's the problem, I think, with Joe's entire theory, all right, is there are four basically things that a YouTube content creator can do. And there are other things as well. You know, you can sell merchandise by becoming a representative of Macy's and things like that. I don't do that. So there's actually five, but in my area of the universe, there's four basic ways that a content creator can make money on YouTube. I work my ass off, folks. I do this full time. Babe,
Yes.
did you ever see me put this much work into a single freaking job that I ever had?
No, this is a passion for you.
Absolutely.
That's right. That's why you're.
I'm working double time 7 days a week, and
Yeah.
I run myself ragged to the point I collapse for 3 or 4
Yeah,
days every
sometimes
once
I
in a while.
don't see him for days.
Right.
He's so deep in it.
Yeah. So this is my job. All right. This is what I do. I'm no longer retired fully. Okay. And and by the way, Joe, the second that you signed up, you had to make an effort to become a YouTube partner. And the fact that you're getting super thanks over there, and you got a couple nice ones today. Congratulations. I love it. Right? Free enterprise. But in order for you to even get those is because you had to make the conscious decision and type some fool on another channel who shall remain nameless, and just think of people I don't like in the vinyl community, and you'll probably hit on who said this, that this fool was saying, I accidentally pushed a button that made that doesn't happen. You have to push several buttons quite intentionally. All right. So that guy's saying he has members, but he didn't know he had them because it was an accidental push of the button. I didn't know what I was going to do. Okay. I call bullshit on that. All right. So you have to, and I've talked to Royce. Royce can bear me out on this. You know, I said, how about you, brother? Here's what I had to do. He goes, oh, God, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. And this is how content creators, you've seen nice people giving us super thanks here tonight. All right. This is how I keep my channel running. I make no bones about that, and I never will. Straight up. So here's what you can do. Here's the thumb. That's the content creator. All right. On the forefinger, important to keep track of these fingers, folks. On the forefinger is members only videos. The middle finger, the one that you'd like to just, do with me right now. I know some of you would. All right. Well, that's the super thanks you get. The ring finger, that'd be getting monetized. And the pinky is putting out merchandise. A complete hand. Content creator, 4 fingers, and I do all of them. Right there. I do all of them. I'm sorry, Joe, but I felt like what you've done with that same hand is done this. the three things you do, the one thing you don't, and you pointed it at us. Okay? And not being mindful that those three fingers are pointing right back at you. I think it was unfair, and I don't care for your point of view, to be frankly. Now, that doesn't mean I'm starting a war here with Joe Mayo, but I've always promised my viewers I'd be honest. Okay, and that being, Joe is watched by my viewers. I know that. We share viewers together. I love that, as a matter of fact. But he put me in a difficult situation here. I had to make a video on that. And I told you I'd keep it up for a few hours and then I'm going to put it back on my members only video, Joe. Well, I decided it was a bigger can of worms because the response was incredible. And so I'm keeping it up. That's just all there is to it. So I've already added another members only video to make up for that. So keep in mind, I do all the same freebie stuff I ever freaking did. Nothing has changed there. I just went to work and worked twice as hard, Joe. Okay? All right, and that got me to that latest video we were talking about. Let's go over to that because I want to. I don't want to do this one by memory. Let's see, where are we here? I just know it's got to be around here somewhere. Okay, well, why don't you click on the actual channel, Michael? Get down to members only. I'm not going to be able to do that from here. Yeah, but do I have access? No, not even to the comments. That's too bad. Okay, so I'll just keep it generalized. And in that video, I talk about residencies, as I said before. And I was on Royce's. It's a video. It's got a little intro by me out in my back front yard at about 1 or 2 in the morning as I was getting ready for this. And then it's got about a 3-minute portion where it's just Royce and me and Dan and Chris Elliott. And I think that night we had a fifth that would have been Dawson from Rampage Video. And it's a snippet, and I know people on that panel that are willing to go to residencies, okay? I know a lot of you are willing and enjoy residencies. I am not a fan of them, but if you, Caitlin loves residencies. Royce is willing to see a band at a residency. It's not beyond his purview. Okay? And that's fine. That's fine. I don't see it as good for rock and roll because it doesn't produce anything. It only rakes things in like dollars and dollars and dollars. Okay? And Michael Boswell really took me to task, and since I can't get to his comment, I just want to say I felt that Michael Boswell felt that like it's my weakness that gets in the way, and that I'm coming off as almost preaching to the masses or something like that. See, I wish I could get to that, and that's just simply not true. Okay, and if I misread it, I apologize, Michael, if you're out there. But it's just a belief of mine, okay? I know a lot of you agree with me, and I know a lot of you disagree with me on that. And Michael tends to think of, he brings up the ABBA show, over 1,000 shows. It's the wave of the future, I think is what he said at one point. It's starting to come back to me. And I told him, I said, yeah, I absolutely think, I'm going to just kind of, not semi-quote myself. I agree with you that it may be the wave of the future, right? But is that really a future we're all going to be happy with in years to come? Because A lot of what I consider to be good classic rock comes from bands out touring, writing material on while out there. The Beatles would write songs on their beds at their hotel. Okay, and we'll be talking about Don Henley and how he thinks that was impossible to do because they toured themselves to death, right? And it got so boring. So tours, the way the Eagles have been touring, have been known to kill songwriting ability. Isn't that the things we want from them, Michael? New material? I would love it if the Eagles put out a brand new album and it was really their real voices and everything, and they got to town. Even if they didn't call themselves the Eagles, if Don Henley, Joe Walsh, and Timothy B. Schmidt put out an album with all three of them get equal amount of songs, I'd buy it. I am a fan of their music. Okay, so it's not a matter of me being against the band. And Michael's not even accusing me of that. He's just disagreeing. I guess he sees me as kind of I'm an ostrich with my head in the ground. Ignoring any dangers or future changes or anything like that. I've always embraced technology, but Michael, here's what I've got to say. Have you seen the latest Pegasus video? Have you seen that? What is that? Where did I mention that at in my notes here? Well, he certainly is prepared, Wilma. Yeah. Okay, so Michael Boswell, okay. Wings of Pegasus covering Journey and a solo that was filmed by Neil Schon on one of their big hits. And he takes it down bit by bit. Now remember, Don Henley's already been busted by Wings of Pegasus for lip syncing. I reported it on, at the time, huge video for me, right? And now he's calling out Neil Schon. And at one point, it's a tap riff that he's doing. He's doing some hammering with these two fingers, and he's tapping up here to get a higher register. You know how he does that thing. And the notes are, it's either the notes are 5 notes and he taps 6 times, or the notes are 6 notes and he taps only 5. I forget which one, but I watched it. I blew it up. I'm a guitar player. I know what to look for, and he's absolutely correct. Neil Schon is playing guitar to backing tracks. Michael? You go, well, why are you blaming Residencies? Michael? Michael and I often talk to each other like this. Now, seriously, that's what these Residencies, especially at the Las Vegas Sphere, demand. Those incredible light shows have to be synced. And a lot of bands are choosing, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing, what I'm watching, all right, in general, as a musician, not just a fan, is I see evidences of backing tracks even being used by the instruments themselves, perhaps with the Eagles and most definitely with Journey. The band that doesn't have Steve Perry. Right? Their lead singer always say, well, I'm going to quit tomorrow. All right, well, you don't want me around. I'll just leave. Why don't you just leave? I hate whiners. But, I don't cover Journey a whole lot here. I could spend as much time on Journey as I could and have of Motley Crue. Okay? Their recent history is about as embarrassing and drama-filled as anything that's been going on with Motley Crue. But I've never been a big Journey fan. I like some of their songs, and I like their first couple of albums. And then they lost me. and I just never. So I'm not precluded to cover them, and I don't try to make videos just to be dramatic and create trauma. If I'm being dramatic about a band, it's because it really hits me in my heart. It's like, that's not good for rock and roll. What you talking about, Willis? Okay, and so I get off on that, you know, and I spent a lot of time in my life in the music industry. Never got big or anything like that, but I understand the workings of it, and I think this is bad because we've gone from the true 60 giants. We're talking the Titans. People out of the 70s were the Greek gods, but before the Greek gods came the Titans. You know, the Stones, the Who, the Beatles, you know, whoa, ta-dun, ta-dun, you know. And those bands worked their ass off, whether they were touring or not. And even Led Zeppelin, it got where they couldn't write. So Jimmy Page said, that's it. Robert and I are going to take some time. And John Paul Jones needs to go spend some time with his wife. And the three of us will get musical ideas. And John Bonzo will be over there with his wife and working on different triplets and everything. It was like a family vacation to songwrite almost. Only Jimmy and Robert taking off individually and not spending time with family while they did this. Okay, that was bodacious. Okay, because they were touring way beyond and to bigger, more draining crowds than the Beatles had. So that and what we saw come out of that is, I just saw a Melinda Murphy video. She goes, I have 3,000 LPs, 3,000, you know, and I know a whole lot of those are out of classic rock from Melinda. Okay, so congrats, Melinda. I will never even get to 1,000. I know that for a fact. But you know, but think about it. She represents 3,000 albums that she thinks is worthwhile. Now, I'm sure there's some, you know, she's also got some classical and some jazz. You know, I'm sure she stretched her legs. But I'll bet you the bulk of that, a good, I would, 1,500 to 2,000 of those albums are classic rock oriented, as I see classic rock. Okay? Think of that output and think of what we're getting these days. Used to get 2 albums a year from bands back in the 60s. Now we get 1 album every 5 years, if lucky. Okay? Although it's good to hear that the Stones have already got 2023's Hackney Diamonds follow-up ready to release this year.
Well, so, Dr. Insomnia says, Zappa, 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 Zappa. Yeah, we hear you, Dr. Insomnia.
Oh, man. Him and Royce. Now they'll start a Zappa stream on their own, you know? Yeah. As we're going, they'll just be talking Zappa the rest of the night, man.
Yeah, he's got Zappa on the brain.
But he was a giant. Yes, yeah, I'm not the fan that they are.
I love
but I recognize a genius.
Stinkfoot. Stinkfoot.
Stinkfoot.
Yeah, I love that.
Stinkfoot.
Oh, that just made me laugh so much, that song. I loved it.
Yeah. I liked Billy Was a Mountain, Loretta Was a Tree Growing on His Side. You know.
Yeah. He's got a perspective, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he, like I said, Zappa is a master. Okay? He truly is. Yep. Bob Dylan is a master songwriter. I don't collect him, although I'll probably get a couple of his albums this time around. But I haven't collected him in the past because the voice kind of irritates me a little bit. But I've always said, done videos on what a great songwriter he is. He is one of the biggies up there with Lennon and McCartney.
Hey, I give him credit just for getting up there and singing.
Yeah.
You know, I do.
Absolutely.
He's an icon in the industry.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I got to tell you, folks, getting back to the idea of residencies, it's counterproductive. Now, Michael would argue, no, it is where we're at, Michael. Be more realistic and look forward and embrace what we have. And I'm afraid that if we do that comes the lies that it's built on.
Yeah.
Because I just saw Neil Sean lip sync his guitar part. I mean, it gets down to that, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the guitar player version of lip syncing.
Al Val says you got 2 albums a year when bands were young.
Damn straight.
And Aaron, 23, says, yeah, in the 60s and 70s, they turned them out fast. Like Buffalo Springfield put out like 4 in 2 years.
And bands like the Beatles, on top of 2 albums a year, they had 4 singles, which meant 8 other songs.
How are
so
we
2
talking
albums
about the
and
Beatles?
damn near 3/4 of a whole other album just on their singles, you know?
Give it to Michael to talk about the Beatles.
Well, it does tie in. Keep in
every
mind,
video.
Kimberly.
Every video.
Did I or
The
did
Beatles.
I? Oh, she's just not going to stop, is she? Did I or did I not say
gotta
part of what
tease
we're
you.
talking about is the Eagles?
The
Are they
Beagles.
the American Beatles?
Do you call them the Beagles?
The Beagles. Are they the Beagles? Some
They're
of them
the
look
Beatles.
closer to a
They're
Beagle
the Beatles
these days.
on high gear.
Yeah. But a lot of us are looking closer to a Beagle these days.
A Beagle, yeah. I love Beagles, hey.
All right, so we've got an idea. So anyway, that's my bit on that. Okay, and I didn't stray too far afield from what I wanted to talk about tonight in general. Let me get back to the channel here. Somehow that flipped on me. I pushed the wrong button. Okay, so that gets me down to basically me reiterating what my the mission statement of my channel is, and then we're going to go into an article, and then we're going to open up the discussion to you folks. Okay, that's the way the stream shall go on here. My mission statement for this channel is to procure, all right, and educate the important essentials from that classic rock period that I focus on from 65 to 2005, but will go way beyond that from time to time. But there's that golden era that I just absolutely adore, and I want to preserve that. I want to educate people that. I want it to be put on a pedestal that it deserves to be on. Okay? Now, I've criticized the Eagles, and I've already criticized the Eagles. Now I want this to get into a positive stream. Remember, I told you I want tonight's stream to be positive. And beyond any criticisms that I have of the Eagles, I now remember what my 4th band was that got knocked off of my original 13 bands when I opened it up to you folks, and it was the Eagles. They were in my original 13 bands, okay? And you guys voted them off the island. And so the 13 bands, there were 4 of my bands. All of my bands made it except for 4. And it was the Eagles, the Police, Yes, Queen made it. I think Queen made it. But there was another. I can never, and the Eagles was the 4th one I couldn't remember, and now I can't remember one of the ones I could. So anyway, they are monsters to me. I love their material. I would put Desperado for absolute sure in my top 10 albums of all time, if I just ranked them at a certain way, these are the albums that hit me right between the eyes when I first heard them. The top 10. Matter of fact, maybe that's a future stream or video. All right? Because I absolutely love Desperado. And Desperado would be in my top 10 of all-time classic rock albums. And I find in the comments that you guys don't necessarily agree. I can see that clearly when I look at the posts. And if you look at percentages voted on, the number 1 is 58%, Hotel California. Number 2 would be One of These Nights with 39%. And number 3 would be Eagles, The Greatest Hit. And then Desperado would be number 4, even though in its own part of the poll, it's number 2, right? But it's number 4 as far as actual votes. I also did a recent poll, and I told you what would that come out of. Let me find it. Where I asked, how high do you rank, this is 6 days ago, I told you I'd cover this. How high do you rank Desperado by the Eagles? See my latest video, because I did a video on it. And you could choose, I rank it very high, one of their 3 best songs. Another, it's very good. It's in my top 5. Third, it's okay, maybe as high as their top 10-ish, right? And number 4, What a Load of Codswallop. An overrated song in every sense, okay? So the top vote getter on that was, it's okay, maybe as high as their top 10-ish. It would be in my top 3. I say so in that video, right? And in second place is 22% of you saying, it's very good. It's in my top 5. So you rank it a little higher. And then 13% of you agree it's in your top 3. So if you include top 5 and better, you get about a 35%, still outweighed by 45% of you voting that it's okay, maybe as high as their top 10-ish, but a walloping 20% of you think it's a load of codswallop. So I don't understand it. It's such a wonderful song. But you either get Desperado, the album, and the song, or you don't. And don't just listen for the song Desperado, man. Every single song on that album, there's no weak link. Not for a freaking second. It's as good. Every track is as good as the one that preceded it. Okay? But a lot of you don't agree with me, which gets me to my the article I wanted to cover. Because remember, in that poll, we were talking about some of the or 2 of the things that you could have voted, or albums you could have voted on, was Hotel California and Eagles, their greatest hits, 1971 to I think 75, I believe is the title. Yeah. All right, now dig this and dig how this article goes about introducing this whole concept and this story. Like many groups, Eagles, well, they're so politically correct. See, Don Henley is known for saying, no, we're not the Eagles, we're Eagles. That's why their greatest hits album was called Eagles, their greatest hits 1971 through 1975. Okay, it's a pet peeve of his. And so they're right in his field right here. Oh, yes, oh, thank you for this interview. Oh, the great Don Henley, right? One of the greatest songwriters and vocalists, and a damn proficient drummer, by the way, who I love. But like many groups, Eagles found themselves up against a wall creatively due to their growing success in the first half of the 70s. An unexpected series of events in early 1976 put them in an interesting position as they prepared to release their next album later that same year. The band found itself on a roller coaster ride between 1972 and 1975 that showed no signs of slowing down. No, it certainly didn't. They notched 8 top 40 hits singles, including 2 number 1 entries, back to back with Best of My Love and One of These Nights, which might have a lot to do with why the album One of These Nights got a lot of votes. In fact, 1975's One of These Nights, and by the way, I used to play One of These Nights back in my bar days. Yeah, you had to give them a couple of covers, right? Otherwise, you couldn't get a bar owner to hire you. Oh, yeah. Oh, we do Bad Company, the Eagles, Doobie Brothers. Yeah, we do it all, man. I'd lie my teeth out in those days. But in fact, 1975's One of These Nights gave the group its first number one album. As was often the case, the touring grind that comes with that kind of success left the Eagles members feeling spent and overwhelmed. Okay? The touring. Now, here's what Don Henley has to say about it. He says, "We always had trouble writing songs on the road. You know, we did better when we were at home and we didn't have to worry about going on stage and preparing for that." But the Beatles had set the standard of putting out all these albums in succession, and record companies came to expect that of everybody. All right, so the record company had a solution for him. Here's what he talks about. It says, as the drummer and vocalist remembers, Asylum Records, their label, got antsy with the chart-topping success of One of These Nights album, which had been released in June of 1975, and they wanted to strike quickly and capitalize on the momentum. The solution, a greatest hits album, which would allow them to have new product on the shelves by early 1976. So June, they wanted 2 albums a year. That's what they're trying to accomplish here. June and early 1976, and then at the end of 1976, Hotel California. Okay, see, and Don had a problem with that. So that's what they did. We were pretty much blindsided by that. Henley remembers today. But the record company telling us they were going to do that, which they contractually had the right to do, we didn't have any way to stop them except to just complain. And I'm sure he did a lot of that. Bill Seismic, that's the way I've always, Seismic, I've seen the name a zillion times, who would have been working with the band since 1974's On the Border, another excellent album that didn't get enough votes, was tapped to assemble the collection. Though he'd become and remained a trusted associate, Henley says they were unaware of his involvement at the time. So the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. That sounds familiar. We found out later that he was doing it. We were recording in Florida, working on a Hotel California album down there in Criteria Studios. In the morning, he was working on the Greatest Hits album, doing the sequencing and mastering. And then we would show up at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He says he would come in at that time and record Hotel California songs with us. So Bill was doing double duty. So I don't think that I was even aware that he was doing that double duty. I'm precognizant, baby, at that time. But I think he did the sequencing, which is important, and it is. You have to consider, and he goes on to explain this, you have to consider keys of songs not conflicting, speed, tempos of songs, and lyrical content not It's very tricky. It's an art unto itself to take the 12 songs they finally picked to be on any given album, or 10 songs. Okay, what's the sequencing? And keep in mind, they also have to have a great A-side opener if you're talking vinyl, and you have to have an A-side closer, a B-side opener, and a B-side closer that should have very strong material, and they have to kind of somehow make sure those keys don't interfere with what they want to stick in between. That's what he's talking about. Their greatest hits, 1971 to 1975, was released on February, so about 6 months, maybe 7. It spent 5 weeks at number 1, and to date has now sold more than 40 million copies. It remains the best-selling album of all time in the United States. Hotel California, which came out in December of that year, is the 3rd best-selling album of all time. I would imagine number 2 is Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Henley says that the band has amazement and gratitude for the continued success of their greatest hits, but he points out that they weren't just opposed to the idea of a compilation album. There is also a bit of nitpicking that can be added for good measure. Okay, now he goes on, and I can paraphrase some of this. He goes on to say that part of the problem was that it wasn't even their greatest hits. He says it probably should have been called their best songs. Okay, and on top of that, their greatest hits, even though it has a dated, we never did get part 2 to that album that I'm aware of. They've done other greatest hits things, but at the time, it by doing it right before Hotel California, you kind of got to ask yourself if the record company didn't initially have some doubts. Because evidently they were putting this together. They heard the word from the floor about Hotel California. Maybe they weren't excited, or a key person wasn't excited about it. And might as well cap off, because this is the end, sayonara. And what wound up happening is some of the Eagles' best material. I think there's a couple of tracks that make it keep it at probably number 3 for me as an Eagles album. But the great stuff on it is probably equal or better than the great stuff off of Desperado. It's a magnificent album, and most of you agree it's their best one.
Hon,
yeah, baby.
Divining Dragons clued me into how you pronounce that name. You were having trouble.
Oh, please.
He said Zimchik.
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 I love it.
Yeah, cool.
Let's go pick up some Zimchiks.
Cool.
All right, Michael, I'm sorry. Who said that? Divining?
Yep.
Divining.
Yeah.
Okay.
The teacher. He's our teacher.
Christian.
Yeah, Professor Divining Dragons.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's been going through a tough time.
Yeah, I know.
Boy, but you almost have to. Every once in a while, things get so stacked up there.
I know.
He
Same
loves what he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel like he's needing to retire, but there may be a reason he has to, and he's kind of facing that. And my heart goes out to you, Christian, because as far as I'm concerned, you have the most noble profession of man directly beneath motherhood.
Yeah.
And the teaching of our young is a great responsibility. And so many teachers, like in my profession, I was a psych nurse, shouldn't be teaching. A lot of psych nurses shouldn't be psych nursing.
That's true.
But the good ones,
true.
They're worth their weight in gold. And in my head, they are the foundation and the true elders of our society, no matter their age. They take on an elder status because of the freaking job. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why education on this channel is important to me. I've said it before. The first thing I ever wanted to be was a teacher. And so my whole approach is not unlike a teacher. What does Caitlin call me? She wasn't aware there was a professor of rock. And when she first became aware of me, she goes, "He's the professor of rock." She'd call me professor and everything else like that, because I have a teaching kind of approach.
Yeah.
And I've taught kids. I've taught kids karate.
Yeah, I know.
Direct contact makes sense to them.
Well, Dr. Insomnia says he was standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Well, I'll bet you Winslow Red Cross might be able to claim the same thing. Is Winslow in? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen Winslow.
Well, he'll be in for the replay.
No,
Tip of the hat to you, Winslow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doc was telling me he was on the box line.
He calls it.
And that's where they, get packages to send out and to stamp. And you got to be by a conveyor belt, but you're also writing up receipts and everything. Man, that man's busy. My brother.
Dr. Insomnia, he says, edumacation is very important. I love that accent, Dr.
Wow,
Insomnia.
I do believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is cute.
Wow. Shame on me anyway. I love it. I love it. A little bit of Savannah, Georgia in there. Let's see. So now this article went on to say, let me see if I've got enough time to go over this. Yeah, we're fine. Goes on to kind of rank. Is that what they do here? I guess they do. But anyway, Don Henley, I'm going to do this. Best My Love, 1970. Oh, they're, okay, they're ranking, or at least mentioning here, the best Eagles songs. We'll get to that in a minute. But Don Henley said also, when Hotel California came out, that album became very lopsided, Greatest Hits became very lopsided because there was no Living in the Fast Lane, no Hotel California, and a couple of others that should have been on there. You know, maybe 4 or 5 that should have been on there. And then they did The Long Run, and that yielded 3 or 4 hits in the top 10-ish, I think, certainly top 20. And those hits weren't on there. Now later they do compilation albums and all of that, but he was very uncomfortable with that. And yet, did you notice he said, "We're very grateful for its continued success." And that's my only problem with greatest hits albums, is there is a certain portion of fans that will get those and only those. That's enough of the Eagles for me. And for bands that I have about that much interest in, I would get their greatest hits. I think right now for me, the greatest hits of the Beach Boys, Endless Summer, is fine for me right now, okay? Even though I was a fan of the Beach Boys before I was a fan of the Beatles. But with the Eagles, man, see, I'm such a fan of the Eagles that I go, but, you know, see, Michael's going, see, that's what I'm telling you, Michael. You're such a freaking hypocrite. But I start going, but that'll stop. If they buy that album, they won't hear Bitter Creek. Unless it's on the damn album. I don't know if it is.
Joseph Blue says the Eagles' greatest hits second volume covered 1976 to 1980.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Has been certified 11 times platinum.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that is right.
Okay, thank you for the update. I lost interest in them right after I saw them. I didn't get in because I didn't have a ticket, but I climbed up on the fence. And the ticket prices were so expensive I couldn't even contemplate to go see them. So I did re-listen to Long Road to Eden for a video I did a couple of years ago. It's got some good stuff on it, but it's nowhere near them in their prime. But thank you for the update on that. All right, so here's, let's see if they're going to actually do this in any kind of order. Yeah, let's see if they're going to do this. Okay, all right, I dig this now. Now, they're going to say these are the best songs from the Eagles albums. These are the very best songs. What do you guys think of this? From their first album, Eagles, 1972, Take It Easy. Big hit.
Yeah.
Right? But is that the only one? Right? You got to ask that. From Desperado, okay? From 1973. On the Border, Best of My Love, big hit, from 1974. The Eagles, One of These Nights, like I said, I know that song intimately, and 1975, and that was from the One of These Nights album. Hotel California, 1976, and the song Hotel California. The Long Run, The Sad Cafe, from 1979. Hell Freezes Over, they say Learn to Be Still is the best off that. Long Road Out of Eden, I'd have to agree with this. How Long? Okay, so those are the albums they recognize by the Beatles are the Beatles. God. I'm telling you, baby.
Yep.
I just wish I could hit rewind.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
All right, so those are the best songs from each album by the Eagles, according to them. Do you agree with that? All right, so let me know in the comments here. I'm going to switch back on over to see what you guys do before we get off tonight. I want to kind of touch base with what you guys think here. Let me see if I can find myself
Dr.
here.
Insomnia says Beaglemania.
Beaglemania.
Yeah.
I'll never live this stream down, baby.
Oh.
That's for absolute freaking sure. I'll never live it down.
Oh, goodness.
Oh,
Goodness.
my goodness.
I love that one. Beaglemania.
All right.
Yeah.
Baby, could you read me anything? Kimberly, are you blushing?
Oh. Yeah.
The Steve Miller album, I don't even think people know he has more music. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Okay, I hear you. I know.
JFL Johnny L. He says, Michael, you have a great channel. Your knowledge of music is top notch, and how you project the knowledge to us is very good.
Well, thank you,
I learn
Johnny.
a lot. That's why I changed my name to Grasshopper. JFL Johnny L. Love that.
I love those old commercials based on Kung Fu.
Yep.
Yep. First of all, the ones that coordinate and coordinate.
Yeah.
Those were cool. But wise choice. Weed hopper.
Weed hopper,
Remember that
grasshopper. Yep.
Yeah. Weed hopper. Love that. We were talking about, and Johnny, it's good to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you in the comments. Always good to see you, brother. Let me think here. I was going to say, we were talking, if I do this, I've got to. After this stream, I've just got to put together a members-only video of some of our outtakes. There's 3 goofy ones we could use. I'll have to bleep out some of the words because I go ape shit. I mean, ape crazy when I do those in anything. I'll start off, hi, I'm Michael Noland, and you are not. Things stupid like that, just to get a sound, thing. And we were just having a hell of a time today. We had to do 3 separate sound checks before I could get on to doing that, But we were talking in one of them where, we were talking about the Karate Kid scene, where he meets, what's his name? I think it's Karate Kid 3. And the guy goes, what's-a, what's-a, what's-a? And Pat Morita, wipes the floor with him, and he ends the scene by going, what's-a, what's-a, what's-a? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Caitlin's asking me if you have a pole, a POLE pole.
Yeah, but I forgot my diaper, baby.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, Caitlin.
Oh, my goodness, Caitlin.
But I am looking into, oh boy, this is inside joke of inside jokes. Okay. This all stems from, Dan will know what we're talking about.
Oh, my goodness.
Dan left a comment over there going, I'll never get that image burned out of my eyes. Because I told Caitlin I was going to...
oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Ben Scheidegger just came in with
I'll talk about Caitlin here in a minute, but we always stop the presses here.
Yeah.
I love Caitlin.
Thank you,
who is
Ben.
it? Ben. Oh, so good to see Ben in.
Oh, yes, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and before you read that.
He came in with a bang.
Before you read that, baby, I did want to do this. Last week, we got these wonderful shout-outs. Ben Scheidegger, speak of the devil, with a $2 super thanks. Deuces Wild, speak of the devil.
The usual suspects.
A $5 super thanks. The Four Horsemen, speak of the devil. We got a lot of devils out here. With a $10 super thanks. And Storm Cop, who gave us $50 today, gave us $35 by buying 5 new memberships on last week. All right, and he did it the week before, so thank you so kindly. Now, would you read Ben's comment?
I sure will. He
And
says,
then I'll
hey,
get to the
Michael,
Caitlin story.
I know last week was biopic, but have you ever saw Control? The biopic about Ian Curtis, the lead singer-songwriter of Joy Division, who killed himself at 23 years old. It's a great biopic.
I'll look it up on your recommendation.
Yeah, thanks, Ben.
I'll look it up on your recommendation.
Woo-hoo.
I'm not against biopics if they're done well. or if the story, if they're not, if they're shy, because there's not a biopic I've seen that is really seriously spot on as far as details. And I think most of the recent biopics are fairy tales. That's my only criticism, but I gave you an example of three biopics. I'm not going to be able to remember the third that I liked. Maybe if I go down them, it'll just come to me. But I love the Buddy Holly story. I love La Bamba. Okay,
Oh, yeah, that's
and
great.
there was another that I mentioned there that I liked. And one of you mentioned Love and Mercy. That I mildly like. I do mildly like it. I just don't see Cusack as Brian Wilson in any shape or form. He doesn't look like him. Not at all. But it's still a good movie. So I like good movies, right? And if you want your heartstrings tugged on, go see Bohemian Rhapsody. You know, the acting's good. It's excellently filmed. It's got a lot of cool Queen songs in it, and it's
Yeah.
thoroughly inaccurate.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get back to this thing because Caitlin's nipping and tucking at my diaper here.
Okay.
I told her, baby, that I was going to, take a lease on the Las Vegas Sphere
Oh my goodness, really?
and do pole dancing in my diaper.
Oh my goodness.
Just for her, because I know she loves Residencies.
Wow.
So I think I'd just,
How
kind of
did
rent
she
out a
get
week
you
or two.
to do that?
Oh, no, I'm just shameless enough to do it.
You know it, hon. You
Yeah.
know it. I know.
Why
That's
not?
the truth of it.
Just double dare me.
Oh my goodness.
The fuck would I care what people
You
think?
guys are something else.
Who's that fool with that wrinkled old body up there in a diaper?
Yeah.
Get a rope.
Oh my goodness.
Hell,
You guys are something
I know no shame, darling.
Yes,
You know that
I
by
know
now,
you
don't you?
have no shame.
Yeah.
I
mean,
know. I
wow.
know.
I
We're
would've-
complete opposites, by the way, guys, just so you know.
Yeah, we are. We are, in that sense. She is the most modest woman you could imagine. And like I said, the better half of me. But
Well, you're smart. You're a smart guy.
did you hear that?
Uh,
Yeah. My wife thinks I'm pretty smart.
After you just called me the most modest.
Well, you are.
Shameless.
No, you're quite, you're very...
No, yeah, I'm
that's why
I'm
I
the
fell in love with you, baby.
The quiet.
Yeah.
The shy, quiet type.
Well, I think you're a little bit quiet and shy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you can even be a little bit full of shy,
Yeah. Sometimes.
as we all can be.
Yeah.
But no. I'm not kidding. You know,
Oh.
she doesn't like to be oogled at. Right.
Yeah.
She's-
I'm just. Yeah. I'd rather not be noticed.
Right,
Yeah.
and she's an extremely beautiful woman.
Oh,
well,
Michael,
and
stop.
that's
Stop.
just all there is to it. And guys look, and if I'm in the store, they stop looking immediately, and I don't have to
Alright.
say a word, do I, baby?
Hey, Defining Dragons got a great list of songs.
Oh, yeah?
The Eagles, Witchy Woman, Bitter Creek, My Man, Take It to the Limit, which is one of my very favorite.
Randy Meisner.
Life in the Fast Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I Can't Tell You Why. I love that song.
Yeah.
Love
Timothy.
Will Keep Us Alive. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a
And
great.
Waiting in the Weeds.
Ooh.
Yeah, great list.
I wouldn't have thought of
Great
that.
list of songs.
Yeah. Well, name the first couple again.
Witchy Woman, Bitter Creek, My Man, Take It to the Limit, Life in the Fast Lane, I Can't Tell You Why, Love Will Keep Us Alive, and Waiting in the Weeds.
That's what I was going to look at on. Let's see if I could find it. I did have. Bernie Ledden, Witchy Woman. Bernie
Witchy
Ledden wrote that too. Bitter
Love
Creek,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And another song off of Desperado. And Witchy Woman is the song. It wasn't Peaceful Easy Feeling.
Yeah.
I grew to like that one, but when it was out, I went, okay,
Yeah.
David Gates and bread, only with a country twang.
Yeah.
I hadn't got the bite yet, but Witchy Woman did it for me, baby.
Yep,
I heard
me
that. I go,
too.
okay.
Me
And then one
too.
of these nights,
One of
that
these
would be in my
nights.
top, that might be in my top 3 as
Yeah.
well, as far as
Me
Eagle
too.
songs.
Yep.
You know, I think it would be.
I know, huh?
It's certainly in the top 5.
You know the biopic that Ben recommended?
What's that?
He's the one that he recommended with his super thanks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's called it's of Joy Division,
Right.
and Ian Curtis, who killed himself at
Right.
23. He said that one was very spot on, and it will make
Good.
you cry.
Okay,
Those are the best. Those are the best.
Yeah. Well, you might have to hold my hand, baby, if it's got a sad part. She'll tell you I'll openly weep
Okay.
at a movie. I have no shame. I'm telling you, no shame.
Yes,
No shame.
I know, huh?
You know. And I strongly rely on the kindness of strangers, baby. You know that. She goes,
don't
you
have
better
any
not.
shame, do you?
Oh boy. All right, folks. I had a great time tonight. What about you, darling?
Oh yeah, I always enjoy the live streams because I mean I just love everybody in the live stream. Everybody is so wonderful.
She knows I've been under the weather. Royce knows this too.
Yeah.
Since my last stream. A lot of you don't know, but I have a history, and for the most part, migraines haven't plagued me in the last 10 to 12 years. But since I was 8 years old, I fell out of a weeping willow tree onto a cement patio. And I've experienced migraines ever since. I don't know if that was the start of them or I just was going to get them anyway.
Yeah.
But they are absolutely crippling.
Horrible.
When they happen. And these last series of headaches haven't been crippling, but it has taken and sapped all my freaking energy. It's been a real bear and a half to get out of bed, folks. So with all of that going on, it's been a tough week for me. And somehow I managed to still get out video after video after video. But I've had to work, and Royce knows this. I've had to work like, okay, it's starting to see. I had started this from Royce's show. But I gotta, I need to do an intro and set that little portion up and everything. And sometimes shooting my videos at 1 o'clock in the morning. You see me out on my porch shooting a video and it's nighttime. Often that's because Kimberly's long been to bed. It's 1 or 2 in the morning. And Michael ain't got another thing. I'm a vampire, folks. I've always been a late nighter. If Kimberly was the same as me, we would go to bed around 3 or 4 in the morning, wake up around 12 noon, and party hardy.
Yeah.
That's it's always been my thing.
My goodness.
When I was working as a psych nurse, I was also putting together a recording / rehearsal room for Area 51. Aww. Okay, rewiring. I even built a Shakespeare size stage for Garth and I to rehearse as if we were on stage.
That's
and everything.
Right, I remember that.
And I'd put in 16 hours at work, come home and put in 8 hours of work on there and collapse for a day. And then she'd go to bed on my second day off, and I'd work all through the night, 16 hours. It's just always been my way.
Oh, he's driven.
Yeah.
Just driven.
And I am a freaking vampire, man.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
As far as, I love it. My mind sparks to life at 1 in the morning. I don't know why. I don't know why. To me, it's a very romantic time. I like days like anybody else. But I also, I'm kind of, I'm kind of like Marie Antoinette. I want my cake and eat it too. Because me and son.
And I know you and hair.
Well, some people just call me Cousin It for short.
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. Divining Dragon says prayers and blessings for Michael. He says
Thank you.
migraines suck rocks.
Yes, they do.
We totally agree, Divining
And
Dragon.
Kimberly can tell you, back in the day, 12 years ago, and every single...
Oh my goodness, Joseph Blue just came in with a super thing.
Ah, that's the Joseph
Oh,
Blue I
Joseph,
always
thank
knew.
you.
Joseph is famous for this.
Yes,
He
is.
does this more often than any other one of our viewers. Give a shout out on, because I'm on my notes, give a shout out on how much it is, and did he say anything? And please read it.
He says, sending you vibes.
Thank
Had
you, Joseph.
migraines as a kid. Oh, wow, Joseph. I know.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I first got to know Michael, and then once we were married, and I saw what happened to him. It just was, couldn't imagine.
3 times
That's
she
the
had to
first
drive me
time.
to the emergency
The
room.
emergency room, yeah.
Because I was writhing in pain so much, it was unfreaking bearable.
Yeah.
And so they'd give me these special shots, and then I would crash for what, 2 days after that?
Yep.
I couldn't move.
Yep.
Yeah, very debilitating.
I
You
know.
But when I don't have them, it may be the way my mind thinks and everything. I think hard and long. I contemplate my navel a lot, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Is that really the meaning of life, or whatever?
Yeah.
I do a lot of self-reflection, things like that.
Aw, Kate says, we
little
are
philosophizing.
family.
Well, yes, we are.
Caitlin. she's
We
so
are the
sweet.
tribe. We are the tribe. And I've really enjoyed being able to spend extra time with you guys instead of keeping it down to an hour. We've managed to go well past an hour and a half here today. And as I get my sea legs further, like I said, I was worried I might make past an hour today, because this is the first day I have actually felt like myself. And I only got about 4.5 hours sleep. So, because I had a headache when I went to bed, and I finally woke up and I went, I still have a headache. Kimberly made me an emergency cup of coffee and it went away.
Yeah.
So that's why I was even up today. I was worried I was going to have to cancel the stream. I go, no, I can't do that.
I know.
And so even if I get up for 20 minutes and say I'm sorry, I was going to do it. But it turned out I really enjoyed this stream. I really did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Me too. It was
And-
a great stream.
And keep this in mind, folks. This is just a final thing. All you folks out there that disagree with me, that Noland don't know his ass from a hole in the ground, Mildred. That's fine. Don't let me, trip up your day or anything like that. Just think of me as the guy, well, he starts it and the rest of us, teach him what's right. Because that's kind of my whole approach. I believe what I believe. You've already changed my mind several times in the history of this channel on a couple of things. I've mentioned those in the past. I've been turned on by bands that I was not aware of by some of you, right? So I learn as much. I can only hope that maybe 1/10 of what I have to say might filter through, and if not, at least it's what is that called? Kinder for the fire. I mean, at least it'll spark a debate, and we can have fun doing that, disagreeing and whatever, goofing around with each other as we wound up doing today. It's all part of the party, folks, and I appreciate it. Caitlin, it was so nice. All you content creators that are watching me right now that have supported the stream today, thank you very much. But I want you all to know, more than anything else, the stream is dedicated to you, whoever you are. If you're watching this stream is dedicated to you, and I hope you found it watchable. Okay, there's no other cooler way than an old man to end one of his live streams than him to hobble out of his chair, because he doesn't have a remote, Kimberly.
He doesn't, does
No,
he?
he doesn't.
I know.
And he has to get up and Royce knows this is a chore for me. And turn off this damn camera, all right? All right, folks, listen, I love the hell out of you. I mean it. You guys know that's not bullshit, okay? And cheers to each and every one of you. And Joe Mayo, a final word. I love you, brother. Okay? I just disagree with you on this thing. Okay? And I felt like I was pulled in on it. But I think you're a wonderful content creator. Joe works very hard on his channel. My brother Royce, the Four Horsemen, again, I'll remind you, if you're watching this, you're still those. How many viewers do we have up here?
We've got 40 right now.
40. My God, we've kept quite a bit of our audience. Thank you, folks.
Yeah.
The 40 of you, if you went on over to Royce's right now and watched his video on Peter Grant, right? And if you like that, you can watch his latest stream. But the Peter Grant, it's not getting anywhere near the love it needs. Okay, and I support Royce with all my heart. I'm not sending you to something that won't be entertaining. It'll be fun. Give him a thumbs up because it's still within the 36 hours of him releasing that. And he could still get a bump up in views. You'd be doing me a solid. That would be like giving me a super thanks if you would do that. All right, folks. Like I said, I love each and every one of you. I know many of your trials and tribulations, and I'm smart enough to know that those of you that don't talk about your trials and tribulation, and there are many who choose to keep that to themselves, if you're having troubles, please do what you can. Embrace the life that you can. And if you are in one of those springtime kind of seasons in your life where things are kind of going your way, appreciate it, love it, because that, like life, shall too fade away. Enjoy what you've got, appreciate what you got in the moment. If you don't have a lot, then count your blessings. And if you can't go that, it is my strong opinion that if you are that depressed and everything, see somebody. I've done that in the past. A counselor, I was going through all kinds of trouble at work. I was in a clear depression. And I met the right counselor, and he helped me out of my mental dilemma at the time. I was depressed. I felt like I was being mistreated. Nobody was seeing what was going on, and it started to affect how I was at home. Kimberly said, you need to see somebody, and it helped immensely, right?
Yep.
Dr. Sanders,
Oh,
I appreciate
yes,
you. I
was
always
wonderful.
will. I love you, right?
Yeah.
So I mean it from my heart. I know life is a mixed bag of peanuts, or mixed nuts. Sometimes you got the ones you want, and then there's the ones you avoid, and but you can't help but get one or two in your mouth every once in a while, and you just got to look at life as being a bittersweet proposition.
It's a journey for sure.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are suffering tragedy right now, prayers
we're praying
and
for
thoughts, because nothing I
Dr.
just said
Rick,
will make any sense
Robin
to you
Bird,
in the
who's
moment.
not feeling too good.
Yeah,
her hands
she's had
are
a hard
bothering
time.
her.
I know.
Divining Dragons, who's having issues too.
Right. Storm Cop, all he's
Our
gone
prayers are
through.
with
Dr.
everybody.
Rick, I can think of even more, that have had a hard time.
I know.
And as you guys know, we've had hard times. Kimberly had a hard time. You guys still supported me. I had surgery I had to deal with. I had a hernia.
Yeah.
And I had to run this channel for the better part of a year with a hernia the size of a football.
That's right.
And I'd have to strap it up and sit in this chair. I never once mentioned it, because at that time I was just doing produced videos. It was none of your freaking business, right? But you work through these things, and or at least so far I have. No guarantees. None of us know how much strength we have. As we mentioned, we come confronted with the adversities of life. None of us can guarantee we will be victorious or handle it like a hero in some freaking novel. All you can do is be as honest with yourself and hope, for me, through the strength of God himself, that I have the strength to bear up under such things. And if you don't believe in God, that's fine. It's still Here's things. I know a lot of people who don't believe in God, don't even like spirituality. But I'll tell you one thing I learned as a recovering alcoholic is you got to overcome that obstacle. You got to embrace a power higher than you. And there was this atheist in my group, and she said, I don't believe in God. And he said, well, you better find something that you answer to. And she chose a coffee can. And she worked it like that. Believe it or not, true story. All right, folks, love you, and I'll
Love
see you
you.
on Sunday. What'd she
See
say,
you
babe?
Sunday.
So, oh, she's just saying she loves you too. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, aren't we
I look
cute?
forward to Sunday.
Aren't we adorable, baby?
Michael,
I'm embarrassing the hell out
you're
of her.
shameless.
All right, folks, we'll see you on Sunday at 5 p.m. and next Wednesday at 5 p.m. as well. And don't forget, Royce the Four Horsemen. See that video. See that video. See that video. And get ready. Sign up and hit the thumbs up on that thing. And then, join the tribe over there, the warriors over there. Subscribe to his channel, man. He is of the tribe. If you consider yourself part of the tribe and you haven't quite gotten over yet to subscribe to Royce's channel, it really would behoove you, because a lot of tribal business goes on over there. And yet it has its own identity. It's cool. It's cool. I fit into both camps very well. All right. We'll see you on Sunday, folks.
Good night.